Alright guys, welcome to a video on Honey, I Joined a Cult. In this video I'm going to be covering some of the basics that you need to know when you play this game, some sort of tips to get you going. It's a pretty easy game to follow, so you guys are really not going to have trouble with this. If you've played any sort of cult, not cult, like a colony sim game, you're gonna really find this game quite an easygoing game. But there's a few like tips that I've picked up in my playthrough so far, which I kind of want to share with you, just to sort of give you some heads up, give you guys a heads up if you're just starting out. But I don't really see you having any real issues if you're used to these kinds of games, these colony sim games. You're really going to find this game quite an easygoing game. If you're new to the genre, that's fine as well. You know, we'll kind of cover the basics for you so you can just know what to look out for, what to do in certain situations, and we'll go from there. So I've got this save going. We'll just continue the save. So I've got this one here. We're on day 64. And this one I'm running on Twitch. So if you want to know how I got to this point, if you go on over to twitch.tv/GameRockUK, you can check the VODs out and how I've got this point, how I've got to this point. You know, everything that I've done to get to this point has all been covered on stream. Okay, so let's start off with the rooms. Okay, so and then we'll go over the stuff in the bar at the bottom, like the menus and all that stuff, what to build, what to look for, and all that stuff. So let's start with the rooms first, then we'll go from there. So each room has a level of prestige. Okay, now prestige is if you click on the room, it will show you the rating of prestige. Now prestige is really important, because if a prestige is low, is too low, your workers will not be happy. Okay, and that will lower their morale, and if the mood is low, you'll get low rated sermons, and if you get low rated sermons, there's a chance that negative effects will happen. Now I've never encountered the negative effects because I've never got it as low as that. But I would imagine things like your workers will start leaving, your heat level probably go up. We'll talk about heat level in a bit later on. And I would imagine maybe your revenue goes down. You know, there's all sorts of things that could happen. So let's not try and get that far, but it's pretty easy to not get that far, and it's simple tricks to do. So so when you make a room, to build a room, you just lay the foundation, and you build your doors and your walls, what have you. Then in your room, you then choose it to be a room of a type of room that you want. So, you know, for this one I chose canteen, so you select that, you make it a canteen, and it changes the tiles to be sort of like a canteen looking tile place. And that's basically the basics of it. The tutorial will teach you all that stuff though, how to build and all that stuff, so I'm not going to go too much into that in this video, because the basics on how to play the game, the tutorial will show you. So if you're brand new to this sort of genre or this game and you want some help, definitely follow the tutorial. This guide is more what the tutorial doesn't tell you. All right, so anyway, the prestige is obviously the higher the rating is, and as you can see, you get objects, it has a level of prestige there. So it says if you put a bed in the bedroom, there'll be 3 prestige. It'll be a value of 3 prestige. Now there's only a certain amount of beds it'll take before it'll stop giving you prestige, so you can't just like spam beds to get it max, because it will stop it. There is a limit how many you can put in. So for example, I got to a stage in my save where my workers weren't very happy all sleeping together. So this used to be the bedroom, and I had like beds all along the top, and storage bits. But they were like, I need more space. So then I set up these bedrooms. And what I did is I put 2 plant pots, 2 bookcases, 2 lockers, 2 beds, and a lamp. Now the lamp didn't really give extra prestige because there's only so much prestige like the objects will give before they stop giving them. And then after that, you then have to get ornaments to increase the prestige. Now ornaments you can get from missions. So I haven't got any ornaments left because I've placed them all. So if we get down to missions down here, you can see that there's an object acquisition mission. So that's what you do. You keep sending your workers on the object acquisition, and that's how you get ornaments. Sorry, lost that word in my thought there. That's how you get ornaments, and that's what you do is place rooms. So if you ever have a room where you just can't push it up anymore, but you want to get it higher, you then have to rely on ornaments, and that's what the object acquisition mission's for. While we're on this screen, might as well talk about missions as well. So obviously, heat reduction mission lowers your heat. Object acquisition gets you objects, ornaments, stuff like that. PR campaigns hires your PR. Okay, now I'll cover what the PR and the heat does a bit later on, but I thought while we're on that screen we'll just cover the missions. So that's how the rooms work. It's all about prestige in the rooms, and the higher the prestige the better. And to just view the prestige, you just click on it. Like for example, that one's got a bit of red on it, and that's because there's 2 broken objects in that room, which is lowering it. So I need to make sure my maintenance worker fixes that ASAP, so that when people go into this room, they're not gonna have negative mood effects because they're in that room. 14 prestige is pretty low. You want to get it 20 or above, ideally, to start with. Then once you're higher than 20, just keep pushing them. And this room, I've named mine the Holy Toilet, but obviously you will name yours whatever you want. You want that to be as high as you could possibly make it. I've made that 33. But ideally, this room is probably one of your most important rooms that you need to get the prestige up in, because that's your sermon room, and that's where the mood effects matter the most. But yeah, you just click on each room, and you can see with my rooms, I've got a lot of the rooms pretty much all over 20. A lot of them most 25. That one's not doing so great at the moment, but as you can see, once we fix those objects, it'll be up to 20. That's 28, 27. That one's not so great, but that room's not really used too much at the moment. I need to improve that. That's a very basic room. As you can see, so anyway, you get the idea of what prestige is used for anyway. So that's that. Okay, so the next thing is the moods, and let's have a look at the Grokkian moods. So at the moment, what we've got is bad room. So that's the bad room effects if the prestige rating is low. So what we can do is we can have a look at Amanda. So where is Amanda? Let's have a look. So if you go up here and press that, you can actually navigate. So she's in this room, and there's a prestige 20. So even with a prestige level of 20, they're still saying it's low. But what happens is, if I place an object down, it's not going to really increase the... So if I go to decor now, and I say, right, I'm going to put a chair there, it's not, that hasn't gone up at all, because as I said before, there's only so many objects you can put down before then you have to rely on ornaments. So that didn't make a blind bit of difference. So just be careful of that. Don't go spamming lots of objects down and thinking you can get max prestige just because it says it's valued 2 or 3 prestige, because there is like a sort of cap on it. just so you know. So yeah, keep an eye on the prestige. Look at the mood levels. Negative thought, extremely bored. So with the extremely bored, just have a look to see what they're interested in. So unquestionable faith, they like praying, and that's why he's a preacher, you know. I mean, the boredom doesn't, you don't really have to do too much with the boredom. The boredom gets cured by the recreational rooms. That's where they can play like pinball and card games and backgammon and dominoes and all that stuff. So that's what these recreational rooms are. That usually cures boredom. The chances are when he wakes up, he's probably just going to go to one of these rooms and that'll probably just disappear. So I'm not too worried about the boredom side. I've never seen any negative effects come from boredom, because as I say, they'll usually just walk into one of these rooms and that'll be sorted. So let's have a look at some of the other effects that we've got. Horrific food. The meal this person ate was horrific. So quite a lot of people will have this at the beginning of the game. Do not be put off by that. Okay, now what that means is the food that they got obviously was not sufficient. Now at the beginning, you're going to build vending machines. You're going to be building, so you'll have a vending machine, and obviously you'll have the canteen serving table and a few tables and whatnot. If you do not have food prepared, they're going to use the vending machines. The vending machines, they will eat, but they will say it's horrible food. Okay? So here's a good tip for you. And this is something that takes. So as soon as you can research burgers, keep ordering burgers today. Gruel, as soon as you unlock burgers, stop getting gruel. Okay? Because it has a mood effect of -2. You do not want to make your workers unhappy. Yeah, so as soon as you unlock burgers, gruel goes out the window. Don't even bother buying gruel, because there's no point. The mood effect is -2, so what's the point? Burgers doesn't give a minus effect, so burgers are great. Everyone likes burgers. And then when you get meat and vegetables, I haven't unlocked meat and vegetables yet, but I would switch to those after burgers, and I'll just literally serve meat and vegetables. And that's what you should do. Or I'll serve burgers and meat and vegetables maybe. But yeah, definitely, as soon as you unlock burgers, stop serving gruel. Like, this you don't need. But you kind of have to serve it at the start. Now, remember, guys, not everyone knows this, but you do have to keep ordering burgers. Manual. It's a manual process, and you do have to do it. Now, the developers have said that they are looking to tweak this so it's more automatic, so it's not so much of a manual process to order burgers all the time, or order food all the time. But at the moment, it's a manual process. And while we're at it, I probably should have said that at the start of the video, actually. This is an early access game, so what you see in it, everything you hear me saying and stuff like that may change in the future. So please don't think, oh, that's a manual process. That's a rubbish function in the thing. Like, yeah, granted, it's a bit annoying, but the developers have said they're looking into it, so the chances are, like, next week it could change, you know? So yeah, it's a little bit annoying, but what I tend to do is just look at the canteen. If I see people go to the vending machine, I know the food is out, so then I like get more prepared and stuff like that. Anyway, moving on. So what we'll do now is move on to the before we move on to the roles and stuff like that, we'll just take a look at what's going on down in this bottom left corner here. So of course, that's your money. The more money you have, the better. Money's not really an issue in this game. To begin with, it's a little bit of a struggle because you want to build so many things at once. But once you get like later on in the game, you're just going to be sitting on thousands. Like I got 78k here. It's probably going to go up to 100k soon. I haven't really got a lot to spend money on. You shouldn't really have an issue with it. Like at the start, it's like, oh, I gotta get this, I gotta get that, and you end up spending quite a lot at the start. But once you get everything set up, you just literally just, you know, just make money super easy. So that's that. Faith. So faith, well, when you hold the rover, it literally tells you, but that's your overall faith value. And it's primarily gained from summons, and it can be spent on divine inspirations. So divine inspirations are these, and you can go into the darkness sort of route. There's new, obviously, as you see here, just another point is early access. So new divine inspirations are coming soon. I haven't gone into darkness because I don't really want to go down that route with my cult. But yeah, that's what you spend faith on, is going through divine inspirations. Next we got influence. Now influence is used for, what have I clicked on? Influence is used for research. All right, so if we look at the research tree, you can see everything that I've learned so far, all those green thumbs up, and everything costs research. So as you can see, when I hover over that, it costs 130 research, and it's going to take 60 research points to do it. So that bottom orange one, that research, that like chemistry icon, the research icon, that's just how many points is needed to do it. So that just depends how long it's going to take to actually research it. You don't gain research points. It's what the worker does when they're researching. They like get a point. So it's basically how fast you get to that figure, I guess. So yeah, that's what the influence is for the research. It's also used as well, the sermons use it. So every time there's a sermon, it takes a certain level of influence. But you gain influence from people just coming to pray, when they're like meditating and what have you. You'll earn like passive influence as it goes. So influence is pretty easy to get as long as you've got everything set up. You'll just get it quite easily. Next thing is PR. So why do I keep clicking on that? PR is PR. So it's how much sort of how you advertise in yourself basically around the city, or the world or whatever. And the more PR you have, the better quality of followers you're going to attract. And the better followers or quality you can attract means the better quality of workers you can hire. So I'll talk a little bit more about that now then. So if we go into this screen here, you can see the traits on the side. So you've got very poor, you've got poor, there's none of it, but it goes very poor, poor, average. I haven't seen anyone better than average, but I think it's like probably good and then amazing after that. There's probably, I think there's like 5 different ones. The best I've got is average so far. But when you first start the game, you won't see these traits. You'll just see the question marks like those. It's only when you have the pool of revelation researched and built that you'll start seeing the traits, because when they go in there, you can then as they complete that, it'll then show up what their traits and stuff. So when you first start the game, you won't see their quality or anything, and it's kind of a bit like blind hiring. But to be honest, at the start of the game, just hire anyone. Just fill the roles. Worry about the quality of them after. You know, that's one thing that I like. Just don't worry about it at the beginning. It's not really worth it, but it doesn't make that much of a difference early game. So anyway, so that's the PR and the heat. So the heat is, so you want to keep your heat as low as possible, okay? I sort of set a soft target of 200, okay? So if it gets to like 160, 170, I'll do a heat reduction mission to get it down to like the low hundreds. I kind of keep it as low as possible. You can probably let it creep higher than 200. I just get a little bit funny about it. The higher the heat, as it says in the blurb at the bottom there, it increases the chances of police raids, and it'll attract negative attention, and bad things will happen basically. So yeah, you don't want that. So I tend to have like quite a strict target of 200. If it gets near that, heat reduction mission, get it down again. Then I'll do some more missions. Once it gets near that, I'll get it down again. And that's kind of how I set it. You can play it how you want. You could probably risk and go 300-400. That's your choice. You play it how you want to play it. There's other things that do increase your heat though. It's not just missions that increase it. So if one of your followers gets upset, so say they wanted to do meditation and there wasn't a meditation, someone working on meditation, they'll get upset and possibly leave the cult. And what that'll do then is that'll give you some heat, because they'll walk out and tell their friends that they hate the cult, and it'll have negative impact. So there are multiple factors to the heat, but yeah, the aim of the heat is to keep it as low as possible. If you see that rising too quickly, you need to do something about it. So yeah, that's those things down there. As I haven't really touched faith too much because I haven't really gone into divine inspirations. I haven't really got interest in darkness yet. I sort of just like chilling with what I'm doing. You don't have to do divine inspirations. But anyway, that's that. What else have I not told you guys yet? Right, the maintenance worker. Okay, this is an important thing as well. So let's go into the work, the type of work that you can do. So yeah, this is actually quite important actually. So let's cover the workers and how you schedule them in and stuff like that. So ideally, at the beginning, when you first start, you want a person on each thing, right? You want to assign a person to each job. Yeah, you want to give people each roles. Now, what you also want to do is level them up. Level each worker in the right skills as well. I'll cover that in a bit. But what you want to do first is you want to go into this tab, go on priorities, and you want to just make sure that each one of these has a tick. So as you can see, I've got a maintenance room. Jacob's working on that. Kitchen, I've got Zachary as the chef. Lobby, I've got Zal on reception. I've got Alia on recruitment. I've got in the maggot rejuvenation, I've got 2 people because I got 2 maggot rooms. And I've also got it so they don't take a break at the same time, so that there's always someone on when the other one's off. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. I got 2 people on meditation. I haven't got anyone on discombobulation therapy yet because I haven't built those rooms yet. That's something that I'm going to be doing probably on my next Twitch stream. Again, if you want to watch me on my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/GameRockUK. I play all sorts of games, from Sims to from simulation games, sorry, to you know, New World and MMOs, all that sort of stuff. So feel free to drop me a follow on that if you are enjoying it. I do apologize that this video is kind of babbling on a bit, but I kind of want to be informative as possible. So yeah, apologies in advance. So yeah, I haven't got anyone on that yet, but that is coming. Energy spa, I got one person on. I need to hire another person for the energy spa. That's something that I need to do. Spirit chamber, the same. I need to get someone else on it. Hypno chamber, I haven't got anyone on hypno chamber yet. That's something that I do need to do as well. Pool revelation, again, only one person on. Holy toilet, only one person on. Research office, one person on. Covert ops, haven't got anyone on it. So as you can see, there's some gaps in my recruitment at the moment, but the thing is, I can only have 17 people and there's just not enough slots at the moment to fill everything, to have like cover for everything. So you kind of have to like work best. The therapy rooms is probably the most important ones, so try and get cover for the therapy rooms because they're the ones that are going to give you the most money. The other ones aren't as important. As long as you need someone on the lobby for sure, so always get someone on the lobby and the recruitment, and you definitely need a maintenance person. Covert ops is not so important early on. I've built the covert ops room, but it's honestly not that important because if you go to missions, right, say I wanted to do that one, right, and I assigned thing, I wanted to Amy leave, she has a chance of 100 success, so there's no point starting covert operation because she's gonna 100% be successful, you know. So you don't have to do the covert operation on that one because you know it's going to be there. Covert operation, basically you do that when, if you need to, say there's like a really hard mission that you need to do, for example, that one 0% chance, but then do that 100% chance. So that one I wouldn't start a covert operation there. If that says 100%, what's the point in doing a covert mission, you know? All it does is increase the success chance, but if it's 100% success chance, there's literally no point in doing it. So I haven't had to use covert ops too much, so if you don't have anyone assigned to that at the moment, it's not a big deal early on. It's really not. Anyway, back to the jobs again. So maintenance workers, this is something really important, right? So keep an eye on what's broken, and this is something that you're gonna get very frustrated on, but it's something that you have to keep an eye on. If anything breaks, make sure you target the maintenance worker and tell them to manually go to it. Don't wait for them to go and fix it, because most of the time they take forever to get to that room, or like they'll get to that room, fix one thing, and they'll be like, I'm gonna take a break now, and then they'll just be left broken, and then customers will get frustrated and whatnot. Another good tip as well is when you're building like rooms like bathrooms, build more toilets than you actually need. And that goes for the beds as well. Build more beds than you actually need. See, I've got like an extra bed there, because if a bed is broken and everyone's asleep, one person won't be able to go to sleep, and then they'll have bad mood effects the following day because they haven't had sleep, you know. And it's just like, there's just no need for it, you know. So always make more things than you actually need. Like I've built like probably like, I mean, it's kind of enough for one each, but like they don't all use them at the same time. But I know that if one breaks and someone can't get one, there's going to be a negative effect on that worker. So I just thought, you know, I'll just build more than I need. Same with the toilets, same with the sinks, everything. So yeah, always go with like build more than you need. Another tip as well, we're going to go back to the rooms in a minute because I forgot to tell you something, is always build like 2 of each room. See, I've got 2 energy spas there, 2 meditation rooms, 2 maggot rejuvenation therapies. Always build 2 of each rooms, and the reason why I say that is because sorry, excuse me, it's because A, you're gonna have 2 workers on each one eventually anyway, so you're gonna need 2 rooms anyway. But B, if one of them breaks down, the customers can go to the other one, so they can always get access to the maggot rejuvenation or whatever therapy rooms they got. So you've always got that sort of resilience, Yeah, so it's always good to build more than one of each. I do need to build another one of those, and I do need to build a bunch of other stuff as well. But yeah, it's really good to get that in place. Okay, now let's get on to skills. And that's something that you it's quite important, the skills, and it's important to get it right. And I didn't really know this early on. It's something that I found out playing. It was really good. So let's click the holy toilet, or whatever you've named your sort of spiritual place, and we're going to scroll down. And what we're looking for is this: the lectern creates a job for Grokkins in this room. Valuable Grokkin skills. This is so important. Okay, right. So if you're going to hire a preacher as a worker, those are the two skills you need to put up. Okay, public speaking increases money gains. Bluffing increases influence. So you know, if you're going to hire a preacher, those are two skills. If you have a look at my preacher, my one's Brian Price. And if we go to skills, you know, bluffing 6, public speaking 6. And he's nearly max level because he'll only go to level 8. You want to get, so always pay attention to those. And if you go to click on another one, you know, in the meditation studio, it's empathy for influence gains, and retail increases money gains, you know, to increase those. So always pay attention when you're assigning the staff to a particular role or job, whatever you want to call it. Make sure that you're putting up the right skills. I wasn't doing that at the beginning, and that's something that I recently found out, and I was like, oh. But luckily I have to kind of rehire a lot of staff anyway. Sorry, I kind of had to sneeze. I kind of had to cough. Got a bit of sore throat for some reason. I think I'm dying. It's fine. Okay. So we've covered skills. The other thing that you need to understand is injuries. So you can see at the bottom here, dirty hands whilst eating. Honestly, do not worry if you get that message. I get dirty hands whilst eating so many times from a lot of people, and it's basically they just go to the toilet or whatever and they don't wash their hands. You can only build sinks in the bathroom. I've literally built so many sinks and they still get that message. Now, there was a recent update that came out which was supposed to address that, but I had this save going before the update came out, so I'm not sure if that's now fixed and it's just not showing on my save because I need to probably start over to get that update to work. So you guys might not have the dirty hands issue, but I still have it on my save, so it might just be like if I made the new save, like I wouldn't get it anymore. I'm not sure how that works, but yeah, honestly, if you have the dirty hands message, don't worry about it. It gives them negative effects, but there's not really a lot you can do about it. If you've built like loads of sinks and they're still doing it, there's literally nothing more you can do. Like, you know what I mean? You've supplied the equipment. If they're not going to use it, then it's not your problem. So yeah, don't worry if you're getting that message. Honestly, don't worry about it. If you do get an injury, like, I don't know, broken bone, or they've been assaulted or something like that, and they need medical assistance, send them off to the hospital. It's always better just to do that. Later on in game, you will get a medical room, but if you get it early on in game, and it's like, it'll be quicker for them to send them to the hospital to send them off. Honestly, it doesn't cost that much. So anyway, that's about it. I think we've covered pretty much everything. But yeah, always always just you know, you can't really fail in this game unless you really like don't monitor things. But the number one tip that I will give you, just to like finish off the video, is if something's going wrong, pause it straight away. Just hit that down here, pause it, then have a look around and see what's going on. Have a look at the moods, have a look at what's going on, see what you could do. So what, yeah, because once you've got money, you can literally fix anything like super quick. You literally don't need to have to worry too much about, you know, once you know what the problem is and you've got like 50, 60, 70k, you can literally fix the problem like that with just spending money. So if you notice something going wrong, like followers are leaving or the mood is down or whatever, pause it, take a look, address it, and as long as you do that, you'll be fine. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry that I babbled on a bit. With 35-minute long video, it's literally only going to be a quick one, but I hope I've been informative. I hope you enjoy the game, and do remember that this is an early access, so things may change before release. I hope you enjoyed the game, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. Thank you very much. Goodbye.